Alright, what's up you guys? This is Devin with Century Effects Studios, back with another video, and today we're still talking about the assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump at the rally and the pictures that we're taking. We're examining these pictures. This is not a political video. This is not a one side versus one side, no, but all credit goes to the photographers. So this photo was taken by Anna Moneymaker. She was one of the photographers that were allowed down in the pit area to photograph pictures of Donald Trump during the rally. And check this out. I believe this is my favorite picture of all the pictures that were taken that day. I like the picture that was taken by Mr. Mills with the bullet whizzing near. That's more of an illustrative picture. Like if I was teaching, that would be a perfect teaching picture. But as far as emotion, as far as how I like to photograph, this is a photograph that this takes the cake. Now, as far as the other one that Doug Mills did with the flag in the background and Trump raising his fist, that's a great illustrative picture to show the scene. But I like the drama in this picture, which makes it my favorite. First off, you got the photographer taking an image either through the legs or through somebody, I think it's through the legs of somebody. I think I see a shoe right here on the right hand side here. And so it's through the legs of someone else, and because it does 2 to 3 things here. First off, you're scared. So this kind of image should scare you as a photographer. And then you're in the situation, so you know exactly that you're in the same situation that they're in. They're scared just like you're scared, and then you have the Secret Service in front of you. So there's little to no way you can get this type of shot off. Now, no discredit to any other photographer, but this shot is definitely illustrating a photographer continuing to look for the moment past what has just happened, because Donald Trump wasn't right there originally. And that's why I think the intensity of this shot is way bigger than all the other shots. The amount of the difficulty in the shot, that's the word I was looking for, is harder than any other photographer in the actual building. Why? Or at the actual rally, because you have to understand that Donald Trump moved from his original position, a position that he probably was in for a good 20 minutes, good 30 minutes, maybe even more. And most photographers get stagnant, and we just think of, what's happening then. We don't think about what could happen. I mean, we don't know what could happen, but she's always been attentive. Anna Moneymaker, getting this shot here, she had to go around the stage and peek and look and continually look. Eyes are always going. They're scared for their lives. Everybody around you is scared for your life except for the photographers around you. And you keep moving. And not only that, she moved in the area that was, it was 8 rounds that went off. Now, you could listen to the Secret Service and give yourself a little tip and say, hey, we're clear. And yes, you do have the Secret Service by default protecting you as well. But I wonder what focal length this was at. I wonder what settings this was at. Because unlike, like I said, the difficulty increases because the exposure is different. Unlike him being in the open sun, and sun is hard to photograph him, but the sun was constant throughout the day. This shade was not there until she moved and got to this shade. You see what I'm saying? So there's an intensity there, and there's a difficulty there in trying to get that image and get it well exposed, and then getting the mask of Donald Trump's face just well lit enough for us to be able to recognize who that was in the blood, and then the specular highlight going across his lip, that kind of gives him a nice rim light going across all of this stuff. Then you can see blood on his fingers, blood on his face running down, and you can tell by the look in his eyes, am I about to die? Like there's emotion. Have they stopped shooting? Am I safe? Am I okay? You know how fast his heart is beating in this moment, and that's unlike Trump. You don't see that from Trump. You don't see him insecure, feeling like he's in a threat for his life. He's always on top. He's always portrayed to be the alpha dog. He's always been out there. So you have to understand how unique and how one of a kind this shot is. And then if you continue to look in the background, it looks like the Secret Service is holding Donald Trump's "Make America Great Again" hat. And not only that, you can see on the side of the hat where his finger just barely clears the logo, the Secret Service's finger barely clears the logo, and then you got Donald Trump's flag, America's flag on Donald Trump's hat, right there. This is a one of a kind picture, because it's hard to get a flag. Well, it was easier to get the flag in the shot with the flag that was dangling in the background that Doug got. But I'm pretty sure the photographer didn't even know that we were going to be able to get the flag in the background of this shot. They were more so concerned about the emotional context and finding the president's face in a time of turmoil. And it's amazing. So all credits go to this photographer for getting this shot. And this is a shot that we again mentioned that it's better than any cell phone picture that you could probably get at the rally. You can't get any better cell phone picture. I don't care what anybody says, and people say, oh, cell phones are going to overtake. If you don't have the wherewithal, if you don't have the guts, if you don't have the thought process to keep shooting, because then there's a level of photographer that would think to keep shooting, but then the exposure would be off. There's a level of photographer that would just run away with the camera, because there was a lot of photographers that ran away with their cameras, a lot of people that ran away with their cell phones. Of course, to safety, but this is their job, and that's why we are excited about specs. We are excited about the latest, greatest camera, because cameras that have dynamic range, the cameras that have low light ability can get this shot off, and the cell phones will be confused as to what to focus on in this situation. But if you can get eye tracking autofocus in this situation, you can see it probably relied on its face tracking autofocus, because you can see the mask of his chin and his nose and his mouth are all in focus, and his eye might be out of focus just a tad bit, but that's not what we're really talking about. We're talking about mainly the ability of your camera to still focus in a situation like this. And so you're talking about, your higher level cameras, your R5s, your A1s, your R3s, and all these other cameras that were made for situations like this. These journalists would probably still photograph if they had a bullet graze their lens or graze their cameras, as long as they were still okay. And that is the fortitude. That is the idea of a photographer that has been in the game, knows what they're doing, and really thinks on their feet. I'm Devin with Century FX Studios TV. We just wanted to break down this picture because this was my favorite picture of them all. I'm going to see if there's any interviews of Anna Moneymaker, the photographer of this image, and see what she has to say about it, and I'm going to do reviews on those if I find any other photographers talking about what they did. Stay tuned for the next video, and I will see you then.